Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Life and Times of Uncle Dorkel. Dr. Flatnose has granted me permission to make an audio recording only in the conference room at the Aflocket General Hospital surgery area. He has some updated information he wants to share with me, and I felt it's better to have a face-to-face conversation with Dr. Flatnose himself. So without further ado, on with the shoe. Well, Dr. Flatnose, I want to thank you very much for allowing me to meet you in person. I drove all the way just to be here, and hopefully maybe you can enlighten me on my Uncle Dorkel's condition and the updates that you have done.
Well, let's see what we can do. I'm going to grant you this interview because I know you're anxious. Your poor uncle has gone through a lot, and, well, we're going to see. We're trying our best here. Now, since the last time I talked to you, we had some body parts and we haven't addressed yet. We decided to leave his Adam's apple alone. That's not really important. We have also decided that we're going to have to replace his spleen.
His what?
His spleen. Because it was cut in half by the pathologist's assistant, and we're going to decide to put another one in from a cadaver, which we established that we keep the cadaver right in the operating room so we can pull parts out of the cadaver, as I said before, as we need them. We're also going to replace his lymph nodes. Those are located in his neck and down in his armpits, and he also has some lymph nodes in his groin area. That's kind of unusual, but we're going to replace all his lymph nodes, because while we got him on the table and we got him spread eagle, we're going to shoot all these things at one time, so that way we don't have to bring him back in here again.
Well, that sounds good. It sounds to me like you're doing an awful lot of work. What's this going to cost?
Well, the pathology department said they're going to take care of the whole bill. There ain't going to be any charge for any of this work that we're doing. You see, the parts don't cost us anything because we pulled parts out of the cadaver. The cadaver's going to be thrown in the coffin anyway, so if it's missing a few pieces, who the hell cares?
Yeah, I guess I could understand that part, Besides his lymph nodes and his spleen, what about the rest of his internal body parts? I know you've discussed his, the external, like the cranium and everything. What about the, the places like the heart and and the larynx. Are you going to be doing anything with that?
Well, we have to replace the larynx we get that from a cadaver too. I assume you want a male larynx so he won't have a high-pitched voice. Yeah, and the heart, the only thing that's good on his heart is his aorta, because that's stainless steel. But the heart's going to have to be replaced, so we're going to give him a heart transplant while we're here, too. And his arteries need to be cleaned out. After 115 years old, and the arteries are kind of clogged up with plaque because this modern diet that he's been eating stuff that's not good for him. And, he has to replace all the arteries all the way through the whole body. We found his liver to be contaminated with gizzard juice, too much gizzard juice in his younger years.
Gizzard juice? Well, I know that's one of Uncle Dorkel's favorite drinks, and he loves his possum stew also, at least wise when he was younger.
Man, that's the problem. Too much gizzard juice, too much possum, and it's killing his liver. And we're going to replace the liver too. So what we're going to do is we're going to take him and we're going to hook him up to a bunch of machines, and we're going to pull out all his guts, every gut in his body coming out, and that's worth anything. His pancreas has got to come out. His stomach's got to come out. He's got a huge hole in the bottom of his stomach from that burning ulcer, which it came from being buried alive. He got so much stomach acid in his stomach, it ate a hole in the bottom of his stomach, and the stomach juices started coming out into the body cavity, and it went down into his intestines, and it started going down on his bladder, and we're eating a hole in the bladder too. But surprisingly enough, his bladder don't have to be replaced, but his stomach has got to come out, his liver's coming out, his arteries are going to come out, his heart's going to come out, the larynx is coming out. Excuse me.
Wow, this sounds to me like, my goodness. Everything, it either sounds to me like it needs to be totally rebuilt.
Well, yes, that's the whole thing. His urinary bladder is good. His pancreas is shot to hell. His pancreas is no damn good. We're going to take out, you see, the cadaver that we're getting this stuff from is a 30-year-old man. The only thing that was shot on him was his brain. He had a brain aneurysm, and that's why he died, and that's what we're getting the body parts out of, but we can't use the brain.
What about the Uncle Dorkel's brain?
Surprisingly enough, his brain is fine. When he had that deep depression in his frontalis, in other words, his forehead, it didn't hit his brain. It wasn't that bad. When the eyeball was driven through his eye socket, and it was almost in his brain, but it didn't actually hit the brain. The brain's in good shape. Considering a man that age, his brain is good as the day he was born.
Well, that's great. That's fantastic. Leastwise, he won't be a stranger to me if you changed his brain. I mean,
I know that's the thing. You don't want to change any of this stuff because you change everything in place, it's not going to be Uncle Dorkel anymore. It just won't be the same person.
Yeah, but when you get through putting all these things in him, what about body rejection and stuff like that? I heard a lot about, the body rejecting organs and so forth. What do you do about that to prevent rejection, so that he has to have the whatever it is that's being rejected taken out and put another one in?
Well, we have a new what you call we put a chemical in the body. We inject it after we replace all the arteries first. We gotta replace the arteries because the arteries are shot to hell. So we gotta take new arteries in. From the brain stem down, his brain arteries are okay, but the brain stem and down to his waistline, he has no legs, so don't worry about the arteries in the legs. I understand that you built him from legs and ass?
Yes, I did build him in legs and ass so that he'd be able to get around a little bit.
Well, that's a good thing that you did that, because we could give him legs from a cadaver, but they won't cover that, because I'll tell you why they won't cover putting in legs and ass on your Uncle Dorkel. Because he came in without legs and ass, and we're only replacing wherever he came in with.
I see. So in other words, we couldn't get a legs and ass from a cadaver put onto my Uncle Dorkel.
Oh no, we can't do that. Well, we can do it, but it'll cost you $750,000 per inch.
$750,000 for how much?
For 1 inch. Every inch. In other words, if the legs are 3 feet tall, 36 inches, the ass is another 7 inches. So every inch is going to be that much money, and because this day and age, the inflation is terrible. But if you don't care about the legs and ass, we can take care of your uncle and make him as good or even better than he was when he was before all this happened.
Well, that sounds good. I do have a one little question. He has been complaining about the, how should I say, it's kind of hard for me to say, the size of his tallywhacker.
Whoa! We gotta see what we can get out of that cadaver. I haven't really looked down that area, been concentrating on the upper torso, which, by the way, all the upper things we replaced some stuff, but all the items I just told you about, we're in the process of changing them now, but I did want this meeting to go with you. I wanted a meeting with you to make sure that, everything's going to be all right, and to do all this.
Well, it's fine with me because I feel bad burying him in the first place. And, what about Hackbar? I mean, that is his son. I mean, I would think that he'd have more to say about it.
Well, we threw him out of the hospital. He came over here and he threatened everyone in the pathology department. Then he came up to the surgery department and warned us, don't you dare work on my dad. I will chop you up with a shovel. And he brought a shovel into the Aflac hospital. So he's banned. He's banned from here. We were going to have him arrested, but he took off too quick.
Oh, wow. So I thought the pathologist's assistant did all this damage.
And he did. But Hackbar wanted to see him dead for some reason. You did a good thing by burying him because you thought he was dead. He wasn't dead. You're no doctor, so how would you know? So it ain't really your fault there, old goat. I put the blame more on two people. Two people? Yeah, two people that caused this whole damn mess. Hackbar, for one thing, and John Tallywhacker, that drunk and no good so-called pathologist assistant, which, as I said before, he's no more an assistant than my ass.
Wow. Well, this whole thing is getting awful confusing.
Yes, it is. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Goat, I gotta get going. I got to prep the body for removal of the organs, and the ones that we take out, we're not going to do anything to throw them in a big bucket, and we're going to take them down to the pathology department, and that drunken John Tallywhacker can put him in the incinerator. And we're going to put new stuff in him. So you better give me a week, at least a week, because I got a lot of surgery to do on him. And I'll give you a, excuse me, I'll give you a call when I get along on this to a point where it looks like the operation will be a success. Okay?
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Dr. Flatnose, for taking the time to see me.
You're very welcome, Mr. Old Goat. So, I gotta get going, so I'll be in touch.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Until we meet again, sweet dreams.